As we reported on Countdown last night, Congresswoman Harman at a forum on the Foreign Surveillance Intelligence Act said that the Bush administration knowingly used false intelligence last month when it managed to convince lawmakers they should temporarily expand FISA. The same legislation it is now trying to scare lawmakers into changing permanently. Earlier this evening, I spoke with Representative Harman about the administration's tactics. Congresswoman Harman, thanks for your time tonight. I want to get to what you told the Center for American Progress Forum about how last month the administration played with the phony threat against the Capitol to get what it wanted on FISA. But let me ask you first about the hearing today. In reaffirming to Senator Specter that mere questioning of surveillance by the Bush administration would lead to the killing of Americans, what in the world was the Director of National Intelligence doing?
Well, this administration has been playing the fear card for a long time, and they do it extremely effectively. I assume that's what it was. Obviously, that disappoints me since Mike McConnell is extremely knowledgeable about intelligence programs, and I think his heart's in the right place. I would urge him to be less political and more substantive in the way he's handling this issue of FISA and the renewal of the Protect America Act. I think we can do this on a bipartisan basis. I think we can get surveillance right. Right means within the laws in our Constitution.
And about the temporary expansion of FISA by Congress on the eve of its summer break beginning of last month. This was in the wake of an intelligence claim that there was a risk of an actual attack on the U.S. Capitol, perhaps before the 9/11 anniversary, and you told that forum that specific intelligence claim, it turned out, was bogus. How do you know that, and what are you implying here?
Well, the chatter was up all summer at the level of pre-9/11 chatter. That means the conversations that our intelligence community learns about. But I had been told by a member of Congress that there was a specific piece of intelligence about a threat to the Capitol. I found it. It took some work to find it. It's classified, so I'm not going to tell you specifically what it said, but on the face of the document, it said that the intelligence community did not deem the source to be reliable. And that piece of intelligence, somehow without the disclaimer, I believe, was surging around the House floor. A lot of members believed it, were worried about it, thought that if we adjourned without in some way closing this gap on surveillance, so-called gap on surveillance, we might be putting the country at risk in August. And I think that fueled a lot of the effort to vote for something. The something they voted for, and I voted against, was the wrong thing.
And this is while extra guards were being positioned around the Capitol, and Senator Lott was saying, let me read the quote exactly, the disaster could be on our doorstep, which now makes perfect sense in light of what you've said. The preferred dictionary definition of terrorism reads, to coerce by intimidation or fear, see synonyms at frighten. Is there any way around concluding that to get what it wanted from the House and the Senate on the 2nd of August, that the Bush administration coerced by intimidation or fear?
Well, I don't know who started these rumors about the bogus piece of intelligence. I don't know that it was the White House. I don't have any reason to believe it was Mike McConnell. It could have been some members of Congress. It could have been an outside group. And I don't think it was the only thing fueling the debate. The clock was ticking. They ran out the clock. The Senate passed a bill that I thought was very unfortunate and left town. And the House's options were take the Senate draft or not. And not would mean that the administration would continue its claim that there was a huge gap in collection. I actually find that quite incredible, given the fact that at will over most of the last 5 or 6 years, the administration hasn't followed FISA or all of FISA. They admit that. So why would there be a gap in collection?
Nobody doubts the existence of terrorism or terrorists or the need to act on their existence. But at this point, is our freedom beginning to be, or even now already, at greater risk from terrorism or from people who are exploiting the fact of terrorism to gain unprecedented and perhaps irreversible rights to spy and detain and rendition and everything else?
Well, I think this is quite a scary period in our history. There are right answers. We can get surveillance right. I think most of us, maybe all of us in the House and in the Senate, support surveilling people who are trying to harm us. But we can do that within the careful framework of FISA. FISA is not broken. broken. What's broken is the view of executive power that some hold in the administration. They claim it trumps all laws and our Constitution. And I can't believe that anyone around here would be so short-sighted as to buy that, given the fact that there's likely to be a different president in the White House in 14 months, and she may not be somebody that they would hope would be there.
Jane Harman of California, chairwoman of the House Homeland Security Subcommittee on Intelligence, Information Sharing, and Terrorism Risk Assessment. Great. Thanks for some of your time tonight.
Thank you.